Yeah.
I was sitting there watching people on Reddit threads, or not on Reddit threads, on social media, just absolutely in the crapper. And I said, there's no way. Somebody has to say something nice today. You know what I mean?
What were you saying? What were you watching?
Just I was watching social media and it was just ugly. People just unhappy and miserable. And I figured I'd put something positive out there into the atmosphere. You know what I mean?
I know, but I'm all of you guys shows are a lot better done. Like and so I was just kind of kidding. I didn't mean for you to stop your. I didn't mean for you to stop your hangout. For me, I was just now I feel bad. I'm never gonna interject again. I'm not
You
gonna.
you better interject again
No,
if I do
I'm
it
not.
twice.
I'm not.
You'd better be like, what the fudge bunnies?
No, I'm not.
you 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 can't pretend that you didn't do it twice.
Where's where's your? I'm trying to fix the thing on the thing.
What's wrong with the thing in the place with the stuff?
The thing. There we go. You're not showing up on the thing on the fellow artisan.
Oh, that's weird. Oh well.
Well,
Oh, I'm
anyway,
up in the right hand corner. There I am.
I went. I went to Kingpin should come in here.
Yes, he should.
Should I put where's? Let's see. Let's find the link. The link is really kind of funny tonight because it's like sheep.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it's about sheep.
I like sheep.
Oh man,
They're easy to control. So does the people in charge
you
of us.
know
They
I don't
like
I don't
sheep
even
too.
have a good screen to. It says fellow. Are you not? It says fellow artisan, but it doesn't show your screen or anything. Maybe I should stop screen sharing.
I don't have the Nighthawk Medic symbol loaded into this, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's why, dude. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not it's not an
Cause
error
see,
on
it looks so much better when you're doing it than when I'm doing it.
There you go. I now have a symbol.
Now I'm where. Oh, there you go. There you go. Now you see, I invited several people to come, but they're not here except you, and now I feel bad because you
Stop,
stopped your show, and I really feel bad now.
stop the madness.
I'm about to tear up now.
Stop the madness. The only person who has ownership for this is me. Like I said, I accidentally
Well, but
walked
see,
on your
you
channel.
actually have more viewers than I do.
Psh, they'll be here. I invited them all over.
Oh, oh, I feel. I have learned my lesson. I have learned my lesson in two ways. Okay, I'm gonna stop screen sharing. Where's my little thing? See, I don't even know where my little thing is. Where's my? Why am I not? Why am I not there?
You
It
don't
says.
have an icon.
It says. It says me. Oh
Is your
well.
camera set off?
Oh well. I'll just screen. There'll be two U's there. There'll be many
No,
U's.
too many me's.
Many me's, not many me's.
Right. There's nobody that is truly that egotistical.
Let me go. Let me go to the YouTube side. We need to get Two Live Moo is present.
Moo!
You know
Get
who
in here,
I
Moo!
do miss Kingpin though. I do miss
I
his
do.
voice. He came to one of my hangouts, and that was it. I must have said something against New Yorkers or something.
He's out there.
I
Kingpin, come
know,
on
but he
in,
won't
brother.
come in. I've, I've tried many times. I invited Night Strike. This subject is too complicated, I think, for Night Strike. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I got involved with this whole Reddit thing
Yep.
and the whole Robinhood thing,
Yep.
and I warned my son Barrett. Now Barrett, who is this? We have three people. Who is? Don't tell me.
That is it's loading as
That-
fellow artisan.
That was me.
Oh,
All
there he is.
right. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. Now I have two smart guests.
No, I think you just got one. And somebody with an extensive linguistic talent.
I I a long time ago, in a galaxy far away, I tried to explain the whole how can I do this in a nutshell? Like I tried to. This was back years ago when Barrett was even a teenager. I tried to instill in him why Bitcoin was a fake currency, right? That
Right.
there was no intrinsic value.
Right.
Unlike gold, where even if it lost all its value, you still were able to build computer parts with it. you know,
Right.
there was still a value to it, right?
Right.
Well, he got involved with this Robinhood thing, and then he talked me into. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take a couple $100 and put it in there, right?
Right.
Well, he calls me a couple of days ago and says, "Dad, oh my God, there's a thing blowing up on Reddit. There's a thing." And this is kind of a long story. I don't want it to be a long story, but I started a Robinhood account. I don't know, about a month ago, just to kind of humor Barrett and just to kind of follow him along, and kind of, I don't know, you know how you are when you're a dad. You just want to partake.
Yeah.
Well, you just want to partake with your sons and what they're
Yeah.
show a little, what would it be? But so I joined. I put a couple $100 in there, and the funny thing, the irony, the great irony of all ironies, is that when you join, Robinhood gives you a free stock, right? One, they give you and it's usually a cheapo, right? And it was an AMC. Believe it or not, it was AMC.
Wow.
And I said, look at this crappy stock. I said, look at this penny crappy stock they gave me. I'm going to ditch this thing right off the bat because I have no faith in it. Who's going to go watch movies at a movie theater? Movie theaters are dead. I don't have any faith. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to ditch it, right? So I did, and that was like a month ago. Probably 2 months ago. Yeah, because it was before Christmas, because I tried to give Alex, my younger son, a Robinhood account, and he was like, whatever.
Right.
And he's too smart for all that crap. So, anyway, long story short, here comes the trolls of Reddit pumping Nokia, GameStop, and AMC. And I told Barrett, I said, don't trust this. Don't be a sheep. Don't trust this. There's going to be a few people at the top who are manipulating the many. And Barrett told me, is this interesting, first of all? Kingpin, is this an interesting subject or not? Because if it's not, I'm going to stop the story right here.
No, the subject's definitely interesting.
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't want y'all to go to sleep. Okay. So.
Oh, sorry. Where were we talking?
Where was I? Now I forgot where I was in the story. Okay. So Barrett comes to me and says, "You're not going to, I hear the word on the street is, and they're trying to pump up the GameStop and Nokia. The Reddit trolls are trying to pump it up to screw the short sellers, right?"
Right.
Okay, so I go and I'm like, you know what? And somehow he mentioned AMC, and I was like, dang, why did I ditch my AMC?
Right.
So I buy some AMC. I buy my AMC back, right? It was like $1.50 or something. Okay, so Thursday night I go to sleep, right? Or sometime between the news hit and when Robinhood decided they were going to, and now there's lawsuits, right?
Yep.
There are people suing them because they did this. They decided they were going to stop offering. They blocked AMC and GameStop.
Yep. And they shut down the entire trading
And
session.
Guess what? My shares dropped back down.
Yep.
To nothing, and I lost $100. Okay.
Yep.
Overnight, I was sleeping. Okay. Dang, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to stay up all night?
Well, that's kind of how stock trading works, but yeah.
Well, I know, but that's why this is the whole. Here's the irony: the whole time I'm preaching to Barrett about this crap, and I fall for the very thing that I preach against to him, and he's laughing the whole time because he only lost, I don't know, he lost half of what I did because he wasn't
Well,
dumb enough.
how much did you get in at?
$100.
Okay, so you got in at 100.
Yeah. No, no. Well, okay. You talking about the actual stock price was?
Yeah.
Oh, it started out at $1.50. I got in at, was it 12, and then it shot up to what? It shot way up. I was up $100, and I went to sleep. And when I woke up, I was down $100. That's how bad.
So you actually didn't lose any money.
No, I did. I'm talking about major droppage. It went from. Oh, I'd have to actually go look at my phone.
Initial investment money.
Initial investment money was $100, but it was
okay.
But it's at what, I forgot exactly what share. And I have to actually look at my Robinhood account, which I don't want to bore y'all with all that. The point is, my theory on this whole thing is that there were a few people. The word on the street was sell dump it on Friday night.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm cool for Thursday. I'm cool for Thursday. You know what? Those idiots, I guarantee you, there was a core group that said, no, we're going to sell at some point Thursday, and all these other sheep are going to be left holding the bag.
Possibly, yeah.
That's kind of what happened.
That's kind of how stock speculation works, I guess.
Well, but you see.
Well, they set their stuff to trade on open, right? Because they couldn't have traded overnight. So they set their stuff to trade on open. And so by the time most people would have gotten up to trade, their trades were already complete.
What happened was it hit the news, and the short sellers were losing billions. The people who had real money were losing real money, and I'm sure some lawyers probably got in touch with other lawyers and said, "Look, suckers, we're coming after you," and Robinhood shut it down, and the small guys like me got screwed.
Oh yeah, that's usually how that works.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is be a message board here for the people who are. And this is what I've always taught Barrett, is that if you're not truly in the know, you're always probably going to lose with this kind of thing.
Or you're not on ground level, right? There's a company that I was on ground level with. I got in at $5 a share, and all that stock's worth over $140 a share right now. So it's a game, and if played well, you might make a little money at it. And if you're lucky, you might make a little money at it. And if you're consistent, you might make a little more money at it. And if you're well informed, you could become a billionaire. So, yeah, you're right on all aspects.
Who's that? Oh, he finally decides he had to probably prepare for the thing and then join.
No, he's under a great amount right now. He really doesn't be on any live streams right now.
A great amount of what?
A great amount of what?
I've been to the dentist today. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
Did he put nipple pasties on you? I don't understand why you're under strain.
No, they didn't fix the problem. It was only an exam.
What?
Yeah.
That's like going into a proctologist and not getting a full rectal while you're there. Did you tell them that you wanted your rectal?
Luckily, I had insurance, so I'm good.
Okay. So, what do you think about all this Kingpin?
Well, from what I understand, their little hustle was working out pretty good until actual traders caught on to it and started getting in on it.
Yeah.
And that's when it got out of hand, and everybody started paying attention to what was going on. But, going back to the AMC thing, the movie theater still, the movie theater was actually doing quite well because a lot of them were going to the recliner seats and the IMAX screens and better refreshments and all that kind of stuff. What happened is the SJW culture destroyed the movies. That's why movie theaters were empty, is because some blue-haired person with a gender studies degree destroyed Star Wars, and people stopped going to watch it. And then COVID hit, and you can't have a movie theater. So that would make sense for the AMC stock to go down. I think it's pretty funny, except for the fact that I don't think that they planned it out quite as well as maybe they should have. But I don't feel bad for all those billionaires and millionaires that lost a whole bunch of money.
But what about the 100-aires or the 100,000-aires?
Are you see, there's a secret class of people here, and this is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
There's a lower middle class of sheep who, you see, the trolls on Reddit don't care about money. You see, they are anarchists. You see, they just want to bring down. If they brought down any form of capitalism at all, they would be happy. They wouldn't care. And you see, there was 1 million of them who invested $20. It's not like me or the person in my category who invested a little more money and lost a lot of money. They manipulated the market and lost a little money. You see what I mean? Because there were so many sheep that you see.
What doesn't make any sense is, why is this a story all over the world right now? But when Randolph and Duke Mortimer do it every single day, no one ever talks about it.
Anytime you burn down the castle, it's a problem.
Well, that's what I mean. They're inside the castle, lighting the rooms on fire every single day.
Let me appeal to your side. Are you a fan of capitalism or socialism or communism?
No, the only thing you could be a fan of is capitalism.
Okay, so let me appeal to your
I'm a free market guy.
No, I know. We're all, like all of us here, are free market guys, right? But you see, there's some philosophy at play here that everybody's missing. That's my point, and this is the point that there's some philosophy. There are anarchists out there who don't care about any of it. They just want to troll.
But what evidence do you have that these Reddit guys are anarchists and not just trying to make a buck?
They're not, because I know several of them, and I invited him to come tonight. And if he had come tonight, he's probably listening. He would admit to what I'm saying is that they don't give a crap about anything except trolling. That is,
I would say that's only about
that is the entire Reddit culture in a nutshell. The entire Reddit culture in a nutshell is one big troll job, and that's the only thing. That's my war. Okay, I don't care that I lost $100. I could give a poot about that. What craps me out is that I fell into the category of a sheep, that I let Reddit users control my emotions and my money for 1 second. You see?
That's what I mean. What's the difference between those Reddit anarchists and the guy that invented credit default swaps? Or the shady people that pushed all these poor people to buy houses they couldn't afford until the housing market busted.
2008.
You know what the difference is, though, Kingpin? The difference is each individual made up their own mind, right? If I decided to buy a house that I couldn't afford, and I was actually working for a nonprofit housing organization in the early '90s that pushed some of these loans, and I feel guilty about that. But I was a project manager, and I didn't really know at the time. I was naive. Okay. So those people, we thought we were helping people get loans, but what we were really doing was pushing them into loans that they couldn't afford, right? And that was part of the 2007, 2008 housing crisis. The people that we were pushing loans for early in those days were the mortgages that failed that caused the housing crisis of 2007, 2008. But the difference is those individuals decided on their own to make those individual decisions, right? There wasn't a Reddit board where all sheep at once decided they wanted to troll.
No, there was a board meeting where people decided that they were going to rip everybody off, and then they told guys like you, "Hey, this is going to be good. This is going to help people." They lied to you too.
And they made a buck on it.
They set all those people up, including you.
Yeah, I know, but yeah. And we're kind of hitting on several different topics at the same time.
Well, I'm gonna jump in here and say this. Okay, this is an excerpt from Robert Reich on Twitter. He says, "When hedge fund billionaires move markets, they get huge bonuses, and they've been doing it for years. But when ordinary Americans group up and move the market, they get shut down by Wall Street. The system's rigged." And it really is.
Because of course it's rigged. Why would it not be rigged?
Exactly.
I find it ludicrous that people are surprised by that.
No, I'm not surprised by anything at this point.
I mean, if you're a little horrified by it, okay, that's a good reaction. But
I'm angry. What I'm angry at is the factor that trading platforms decided to try and cut people off from actually doing any sort of trading, to move the stock. And they're just all they're doing is just buying it and holding on to it and letting it hike, and then eventually these guys are going to cash out when it gets up to a certain point. That's the goal. That's the goal here. To hike up the stock and then sell it at a high price. And I know you think it's all just trolling, and it may be part of that, just a quarter of it.
It's almost like sniping though, because Reddit sniped it and manipulated it to the point to where there was never going to be, the bottom line is the only way a true ethical moral stock raises its value is when the company has good revenue and it's producing something, right? That's the ethical moral, that's the capitalistic standard, right? The standard is not to pump like troll a stock and pump up a bunch of sheep so that the stock price goes up, and then those people eventually lose their money. Well, the people that work at GameStop or work at these movie theaters get false hope, right? There are people that have real jobs that depend on these that are depending on these companies.
Right.
When they see that stock price go up, and these executives, that they see that, they go, "Oh, now we're going to have capital. We're going to have this, that." The next day, the trolls are done with them because they've accomplished their goal of screwing the short sellers. They're all gone, and what's left? The people who are actually working at those companies are the ones that get screwed too.
Well, short selling. The problem is the reason they're doing this is because the hedge funds that are short selling stock, short selling actually ruins the company, and they've been doing this for years and screwing the little guys over by shorting the hell out of companies.
Right, but think about it though, not strike.
I understand where you're coming from.
Now think about it though. If you fall, it's physics. Okay, you can't manipulating the stock price is trying to manipulate physics. You can't do that. If the company
hold on. Now you're trying to compare apples to oranges.
What?
It's exactly what you're doing right now. Physics and the stock market are two entirely different things.
They both have inertia, and they both function in a similar manner. I agree that they're not in the same scientific process, but they behave in a similar way.
I'm talking about traditional investing, okay? Traditional investing, ethical and moral, yeah, and this is the point. The ultimate point I'm trying to make is that a lot of these people, these anarchist type Reddit people, don't have an ethic or moral value. They're only trolling. They're not interested in the true value of AMC or Nokia or GameStop. Their only goal is to screw the short sellers. You see, their goal was not to help those companies by raising their stock price.
There's not one single stock trader on the planet that gives a crap about anything but making money.
That's the point. That is the main point.
Tony, I agree with you. I'm
not talking about anything else except this Reddit board. Okay? I'm focusing on the motives of this Reddit board. I agree with you 100%. You know, I agree, but you see, you're leaving out motive, and motive is everything. You see,
my point is I'm a optimist. I kind of feel like you and Nighthawk Medic are both optimists. Just because it's the way it is doesn't mean it has to stay that way. We can change these things if people will get fed up with the same old every day. That's just the way it is. You know, but until people get tired of saying that's just DC, that's just the school board, that's just the police, that's just
how the stock market is.
That's how the stock market is. That's how trolls on the internet are. Until we're fed up with that, then that's how it's going to be.
And look at it this way: this sudden change with this group of people on this Reddit board may incite change in the stock market that will benefit people instead of harm. Okay, you're looking at just one outcome when neither you nor I nor Nighthawk Medic nor Kingpin nor any of the people watching on YouTube right now can predict the future. We're not fortune tellers. We don't know what's going to happen.
I can predict the future. The future is going to be that fractional shares will probably be done away with, and people like me who can't afford a $32,000 Bitcoin won't be able to partake in the fun of, you know what I mean? Of buying.
Well, that is actually
so what it is at the end of the day, Tony, you're angry because you didn't get in at the beginning. That's what you're angry about.
Exactly. No, I mean, okay, so all that's true,
it's jealousy.
But I have a dual purpose here. Okay,
I know. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Okay, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
At several things at the same time.
Two things can be true.
That's right.
The change again. You could say you know. There's only two ways this can go. The change, helps the market and makes things better, or it hurts the market and things get worse.
But I hate you guys. You know what? I don't like you guys who are like, oh, this will all be for the better. You're a bunch of. It's a bunch of wussy talk, okay?
We gotta
be in know right now.
I'm told I am too pessimistic. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Right now, I just want to bash the Reddit board, okay? And then tomorrow I'll be optimistic. Okay.
So let's bash the Reddit board for a minute.
Yeah, Reddit.
Please, humor.
Let's bash the Reddit board for a minute.
I can't because I'm on that Reddit board.
No, right. I know, and one of my best friends is on there, and I tried to, and he's also an anarchist, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to beat your ass. Okay?
I'm not an anarchist. I'm a capitalist.
No, because you know what? If you're a capitalist, okay, this is.
I'd lose money and be happy about it. That's not how that works.
This is the difference between old school capitalism, and that's me. I'm 58, and the young, so-called. Whatever
Socialist
the hell you're talking about, capitalism.
Tony, the problem is they don't give out shares or stocks on paper anymore. That's what you're angry about. It's all digital. It's not on paper anymore.
The old capitalist was a person who had a good heart and wanted freedom to ring and wanted people to be able to develop research and develop products and make them and sell them and be successful, and their employees to be. I'm talking about the Ronald Reagan capitalist, okay?
I was going to say, if we're going old school,
has always been this: buy low, sell high. Okay, buy it at the lowest point, sell it at the highest point.
I'm talking about the other side of the stock market, okay? There's two sides. There's two schools. There's two philosophies. There's the people who are actually producing the goods and making them, and there's the other side, the Wall Street guys who are making money off of them doing that. Okay?
Well, but what? Okay, so but I think of original capitalists. I think of essentially robber barons, railroad tycoons, and steel tycoons. People who took capitalism to the extreme. They both not only produced so much that they are forever wealthy, right? And essentially created the very foundations of our nation through that, but also to the point where they established our very markets. You might argue that the early railroad and steel barons and people of those nature are essentially where we exist as a country to this day.
But
And
their
so those
actions
people
also
were-
vilified them as well.
Well, that's right. They were not moral.
No, they were anything but moral because they allowed, some of them allowed for child labor.
That's exactly right.
So you see
where-
how many genres there are in capitalism?
Yep.
There are people like me who have high ethics and morals. Okay.
Yep.
And and that's probably why I don't make as much money as the other capitalists do. But
And you might argue
we
that.
are the Jesuit capitalists. Okay.
Yep.
We are the people who have high ethics, high morals, and we want to do things proper. We are artisans. Okay.
Yep.
And you see, that is the school, that is the philosophy that is lost, and there aren't many left. Okay, so everything you all are saying is correct. I am just lamenting the
The
fact.
loss.
I am lamenting the fact that the old, Jesuit, capitalist, spiritual guys like me are gone, and this is where we are. We have reduced ourselves to a Reddit board sniping short sellers because they are making money and and they are not.
They're making money off our backs. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
See, I think that you and Nighthawk can both be right at the same time. My theory behind this is capitalism never changed.
No.
Conservatism never changed. Republicanism never changed.
Republicanism as a practice has changed.
What's happened is the republicanism as a practice has changed, but the big thing is we've been convinced that these words mean something different. We've been overpowered and brainwashed all throughout all of our society to believe that capitalist is the monopoly man who will steal a baby's dollar just to have one more. And
Right.
nobody, but that's why we can't find the capitalist that we're describing here, and the conservatives that we're describing here is because people don't know what those words mean anymore.
I do, though. I know them every day. They exist in my area. One is talking and lamenting the loss of them right now, but I talk to them every single day. I do business with them every single day. And so ultimately, so at any given point, I go and buy a gun from a man who is a pure capitalist. I buy ammunition from another one. I buy leather holsters from another one. And I go, you know what I mean? And I go to church with a spiritual capitalist who's a preacher. You know what I mean? And so those people still very much exist. But I think when we try and look at someone who is either a true mercantile capitalist, okay, by the purest definition of the word, and expect them to exist in one of those realms, we're always going to be disappointed. Just the same way when you look at a socialist and expect them to understand the dangers of socialism and they don't, we're always going to be disappointed.
That
So
goes back to my original point. Is people don't know what the word socialism means, especially now that they threw the word democratic in front of it to fool people even more.
If we could just if we could understand that
Language.
if you could convince the younger generation that socialism is only the transition between capitalism and communism, then you might be able to get someplace. But you can't. They think it's some sort of stable state that you could enter into that would succeed. It would never succeed. It's always going to fail. And people like me are old school. We wanted to help. I only sometimes tomorrow I'm going to write checks to all my subcontractors. Okay, the painters, the drywall guys. And that's going to satisfy me more than any money that I make that week. Okay? I don't give a crap if I can write those checks and all my guys get paid and they make money.
Yep.
Then I'm happy.
See, that's the power, man. That's the exact power. You will not let them break you. That's that. When people can get that mindset and get that down in their heart, that you will not break me. I may live in a gutter. I may be wearing the same clothes that I got on my back for the next 50 years and eating out of trash cans. But you will not break my spirit. It will not happen. It's impossible for you to do that to me. And if people could just get that in their minds, that a lot of this nonsense wouldn't hurt them as much.
Well, and I think we've all begun to live in an environment of fear. You know what I mean? And I think, to everybody's point, that fear begins to overwhelm. And the omission of action of good men, and the good men that are still trying to commit to action, that begins to become overwhelming, even for the strongest among us.
Well, I didn't mean to get emotional, but it does. It just, what saddens me is people like me are on their way out. And who's going to replace them? Who is it? Who are those ethical, moral, capitalists who wanted to trickle down, who wanted to take that dollar and let it trickle down as far as it could go? Yeah.
Well, and the mobility of money, right? What we're referring there to is something that has always been a topic. How fast does money move between the person who's the producer and the consumers of the society? And I don't know, we've got $15 an hour minimum wage coming across, which I doubt will make it through any other levels of government, even if it's put out there as an executive order. But that's going to slow down the mobility of money and things of that nature. So, the value of $1 may stabilize real quick. Write it worthless.
Well, and thankfully, we have a stable currency, a semi-stable currency.
Yep.
Right. What if Bitcoin was the currency of the day, and you sold a car you sold your Maserati for 2 Bitcoins last night, and you wake up the next morning and your Bitcoin's worth $2.
That's why the Russian people accepted Vladimir Putin again. He pulled an Adolf Hitler, right? He came in and said, "I'm going to save the world," and he was just an old KGB guy. It's not like they got away from communism.
Right, because remember, you can take the guy out of the KGB, but you can't take the KGB out of the guy.
We don't know that about Vladimir. He's got a wife and kids. Come on.
Have y'all seen that, what's it called, Tinker Tailor Soldier?
No, Nighthawk Medic, you lived through the Cold War. I was born, I lived through the Cold War too. And I'm going to tell you right now that once KGB, always a KGB.
I know, dude. I know. Tinker what?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Boy or something. What is it called?
Soldier Spy.
Soldier Spy. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That's
yeah.
An awesome movie. You got to watch it.
I might have to give it a look.
Oh, it's a good one.
Speaking of things that frustrate me, I have a Lee Enfield magazine here that's full of Cosmoline.
Okay.
Let's take a torch. Take a torch to it.
I'm going to put it in the oven and bake it out.
That works too.
Yep.
I was going to say boil it and then just use spirits.
Mineral spirits. Yeah, it's going in the oven.
You know what? They have when I was trying to decosmoline my new SKS, my new Yugo SKS, I bought the new version of the mineral spirits that's environmentally friendly. I was so thankful that Greta Thunberg was around. because there was no fumes.
How about that climate change that is really affecting all of us and is really hurting the world right now?
But I was able to do it in my garage.
We have to save the world right now because the climate change is so bad right now.
Yeah, but I was able to decosmoline my SKS in my garage without any fumes. So I was bowing down to Greta. I was like, thank you, Greta, for all your efforts.
That's
for all
all
your
right.
efforts to make my
She's so cute.
Greta will start dating soon, and all of that will go out the window.
We haven't heard much from Greta, have we?
No, well, she turned 18.
Gone back to school.
She discovered alcohol.
Hasn't she left the? Has she left? She's kind of like Britney Spears, getting out from under the thumb of her parents too. Maybe.
Yep, probably.
There's a pair, Britney Spears and Greta Thunberg. What's her name? Thunberg.
I have no idea. I
don't
people
care.
like that don't get that much of my time.
I can't believe y'all get me all emotional.
Well, we could sing to you. Kingpin, do you want to do a
Anybody
duet?
else? I want to.
Sonny and
Kingpin's
Cher.
the one that did it.
I'm ready.
Kingpin.
We'll
Kingpin always does it to me. That's why I always invite him. I always want to get. I've lost the emotion in life until I get Kingpin to join.
we'll do I've Got You, Babe. I've got you, babe.
Dude.
They say our love won't pay the rent. Before Tony's gone, our money's all been spent. Well, those Redditors, they don't have a plot. They all took $20, and man, they screwed him a lot. Babe.
I've got you, babe.
Babe.
I can't keep a straight face anymore. It hurts to laugh. It hurts to laugh.
Never apologize for emotion, man. When the emotion stops coming, you're dead.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but but it also causes me to lose my vigor.
What you're
Well, hold on. You
Hang
only
on.
use that with your wife, okay? You don't use that with us.
not saying we're knocking it. I mean, you know.
We're not knocking it, but your vigor only belongs with your wife.
Yeah, you keep those pills in the medicine cabinet, and you can find them every time.
Yeah.
The big blue one. My favorite kind.
We're talking about a different kind of vigor, I think.
No, we're not. We know what you're talking about.
Man, you know what the greatest thing in the world is of being a gun guy? It's when you open a box that you're not sure what's in it and there's ammo in it.
Yeah.
I just found 200 rounds of Rio 12 gauge buckshot. I guess we're doing another shotgun review.
Did you say real or Rio?
Rio brand.
Huh?
Rio, R-I-O.
Oh.
They're a brand of shotgun ammo.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good shotgun ammo.
Where do you buy that?
I apparently bought this stuff at Sportsman's Warehouse.
Oh, nice.
See, I actually have a present for you, Nighthawk, whenever we finally get to shoot together.
We need to do it, dude.
I know.
And actually, thank you. I appreciate it in advance. I will bring you a present, too.
No, don't. I didn't say that so you would bring me one, right? Because I might forget yours and then I'll be embarrassed.
Oh, now you've committed, Tony. Now he's going to.
Yeah, I'm going to get you something fun, Tony.
Let me take a quick time out real quick. Nigel, you're probably, you and Tony, I'm not too sure, but you're definitely the most senior gun channels member that I'm aware of. Can you explain to Nighthawk Medic really quick what quarking is?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I had to learn.
Quark was one of the gun channels members that hung around and whatnot. And basically, whenever, me, Yankee, G-Webs, or somebody else wanted to go and doing their live streams like they normally do, Quark would just start up a chat right before them, like 5 minutes before they go live. just to, and basically, that's quarking is someone is starting a chat just 5 minutes before you preempting your chat.
So I kind of waited thinking that, to see whether or not Tony was actually going to do a chat or not. And when I didn't see the email come through, I was like, okay, I'll start one up and not be walking on Tony.
Well, see, that's why I felt so bad, because I hadn't done that. And,
Well, I got the email. I just checked my email because I was looking. Funnily enough, I'm actually looking at my stocks because I do trade stocks every now and then.
Did
and
you say you do stocks?
Yeah, yes, I do stocks. Giggity, but
Giggity.
But I was looking at that. And I was also reading that one Reddit board too. So I figured I'd jump in.
Here's the
but you could go ahead.
Here's the irony. Okay, when I tried to sell because you see, when they blocked AMC, you could sell your position, but you couldn't buy anymore, right?
Right.
So I'm in there hurriedly going, oh God, I've lost money. I got to sell it no matter what, because I knew it was going to zero, right? I knew AMC was going to go back, because
it's not going to go to zero. It might go back.
It will. It's going to, because when they listen, I have a lot of history with AMC. Okay, when I first started, you must have missed this part. When I first started Robinhood, they gave me AMC, and it was $1.20 something. Okay. Okay, that was the stock they were giving away to new users, to new account holders. Okay, so I knew that it wasn't worth crap to begin with. Okay, and that's the irony, is that I knew it was going to go back to nothing, and I'm sitting here trying to sell. Here's the funny. It's when you're on Robinhood, it'll say "sell all?" ? You're like, yeah, sure, damn, do it now. and you do it. And the irony is, and if I can screen share this, I will. For some reason, there was like a fraction of a penny that they wouldn't, that was left on there. So now, instead of just being able to delete AMC from my Robinhood account, it's a constant reminder, because there's like a 0.00001834 penny of a share left, and I can't get rid of it.
Wait till you
that's great. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. That's so funny. Oh.
Do you know what I found in the bottom of my box?
What did you find?
I'm going to turn on the camera.
PG-13.
Wait a minute. Let me stop screen sharing.
Mini shells.
Yeah, baby. A Gila mini shells.
Okay. Some of those, man. Those were such a fun time.
Can you get them to cycle?
Yeah, I've got 2 shotguns, a Shockwave and a KSG that'll cycle these.
Nice.
They won't. No semi-auto that I own will cycle them. But
I was going to say a pump shotgun will.
Yeah, just fine. But yeah, dude, these things are gold right now.
Sometimes you have to kind of manipulate the pump as you're pumping it to get them in there.
Opsol mini clips will fix it immediately, and it's a veteran-owned, U.S.-made company. The Opsol mini clips. Look, it'll 870s and Mossbergs.
What do you mean mini clips? What do you mean?
So it shortens the chamber of your shotgun, I guess it's the chamber of the receiver of the shotgun enough that the mini shells will come out, be stopped by the Opsol mini clip, caught by the lifter, and pulled up into the shotgun. Oh, wait a minute.
Do you have a video on that?
I do have a video.
I remember now. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of my early videos, and it's absolute.
Because I've actually used them where they kind of want to fall out if you're not careful. If you don't do it quickly.
That's just your early videos?
Well, I discovered how to film in 1080p after a year. But the Opsol is a U.S. veteran-owned company. It's totally worth it.
I have been guilty of not paying attention to the YouTube side. Sorry, guys. I let these guys get me going. They got me going.
Watch Dogecoin. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Oh, I think I may still have $1 or $2.
I've got.
I call it dog coin.
It's
worth a dog.
It is a dog, but I've still got some Bitcoin. Am I selling it? No. I don't have enough of it to sell. I've only got a couple.
What's funny is if you notice that when Robinhood shut down those three, like GameStop and AMC, people went back. Bitcoin went from like 30,000 to 32,000 in like, I don't know, that day.
Well, you do know that just because one or two companies shut it down doesn't mean the other companies weren't still trading, because they were.
No, I know. I'm just saying the attention. That's how fast people's attention change.
And I was following the board and seeing where these guys were going to, and when they got shut out of a lot of them, when they got shut out of Robinhood, they went to Webull and they went to E-Trade.
E-Trade was the first account I had back whenever, was it the late 90s? Whenever
90s, yeah.
When it first came out, I thought I was like a whippersnapper, whatever you call a person ahead of their time. I got an E-Trade account. As a matter of fact, this is a true story. I bought a Bitcoin. What was that place called? It was, this was when Bitcoin was like $100.
Right.
What was it called? Not Coinbase, or what was it called?
Coinbank? No, what was that?
No, you're talking about the one that crashed, right?
Oh, that was called GameStop.
No,
I'm talking about the early Bitcoin, where you could earn. This was back when Bitcoin was first, when it was around between $50 and $100. This was a long time ago. I had one of those accounts. I had a Bitcoin wallet, or whatever that wallet was called. Remember?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember, but
so when I read the story about the guy who lost his hard drive in this dump at the city, city
man.
dump, it reminded me that I had a bit like some kind of, I don't know what kind of Bitcoin.
Are you talking about Mount Gox? That's one of the Bitcoin places.
If I hear it, this is I'm talking a long time ago. Okay, when was
it? Was in the 90s.
Yeah, when Bitcoin first came out, there were the first accounts where you could actually buy Bitcoin, and there was a wallet. What was it called? Nighthawk.
Dude, you're saying it right. It was either Bit Wallet or something. I don't think it had Bit in it though.
It was like Coin
Wallet or something.
Coinbase or Coin something.
Something, yeah.
So somewhere out there in the blockchain, I have probably one Bitcoin. Right?
$32,000.
The internet told me something was called hash cash.
No, that's not what we had. Trust me.
Okay. No, I don't know.
Hash cash was back in the 80s.
So I preached to my sons when they were little. I'm talking like teenage, like 10, 12. I'd say, don't do this. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't do this, right? This is fake currency. This is the enemy of the dollar. It's the enemy of capitalism. Someday the CIA will do counterintelligence on Bitcoin. I was like, there's no way Bitcoin will become a thing, right? It was
Bitcoin Wallet, dude. That was the first one. Bitcoin Wallet.
Yeah, and I just gave up. I was like, okay, I'm giving up on all this technology crap. I'm going back to being a contractor. So 20 years later, I'm like, dang, Bitcoin's like $10,000. And I'm like, wow, what the heck? So somewhere on an old hard drive, that wallet thing, that Bitcoin, that blockchain information is there. Like the guys, and I wonder how many people were like that. I wonder how many Bitcoin are just lost to obscurity.
Well, so they weren't, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier. They're not based on anything hard, right?
Are those the one? Can those be mined like if that guy's $1 million worth of Bitcoin is really lost? What happens to it?
It's gone. It has no.
But it's still in the blockchain somewhere, right? It has to be, because there's a limit. There was only going to be like 21 million allowed to be created. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
And so there has to be. They can't just disappear. they have to be part of that validated blockchain, right? Where does it go? That's my question. Somebody smart out there.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. So there are people out there that can find Bitcoin in the Bitcoin blockchain.
Can you guys do a quick
Chain analysis?
Do a Bitcoin for dummies real quick? Because I don't know nothing about this. All I know is it's internet money. But can you spend it? Can you withdraw and get real money out of it? Like
You
just
can-
a real
you can
tutorial.
purchase, you can
Exchange it.
purchase things on different places with it.
Yeah, there's a place called Chain Analysis, and Chain Analysis can actually find it.
So it's still, that's my theory, is that it's still a part of the blockchain, and because the only way that you could have a total number is if they weren't like the only way that, like, if you could just have if you could have Bitcoin lost to a black hole, how do they keep up with how many have been totally generated and how the value works, right?
Yeah.
Those are still part of the blockchain being validated as each transaction is being validated, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. But yeah, they are. They have the ability to eventually track it because apparently they're trying to write the blockchain back to 1.
It's kind of a complicated story, Kingpin. It's this supposed Japanese, what was his name, Mitsu Gorishami, created the Bitcoin, and I don't know. Good Lord, it's a long.
Well, Bitcoin basically was an
Satoshi.
attempt to make an open currency, and so the initial attempts at it actually, I mean, it was wildly successful. It was a full electronic currency. It has worked and has continued to work. It was what, 08, something like that, and so. From the standpoint of something that actually worked from open to proof of concept and rolling forward, it has worked. And it was used in some pretty shady underground stuff for a while. What was it? The spice, what you call it? Anyway, drug trailers used to use it.
Spice on Dune.
Yeah, the Spice Road or whatever. It was a website that was used for trading all sorts of...
Yeah.
Silk Road, yeah, Silk Road.
Silk
It was
Road.
used for trading all sorts of ugly things. And Bitcoin was a big part of that because it was fairly untraceable.
It's a decentralized electronic
Currency,
currency.
Means the government doesn't control it.
Yeah, and what happens is there are people there are the people who mine Bitcoin help validate the transactions.
Yeah, there was work associated with it then.
Yeah, and it's
So if one Bitcoin is worth $10,000, how do you buy?
it's worth 31,000 now, 31,600. Let me check.
So how do I buy a $20 shirt off a Teespring with a Bitcoin?
You don't. You convert it in a currency that exists in $20 increments.
Okay.
But see, that's kind of my point, though, Kingpin, is that it was never. It's not a stable enough currency for the masses for it to be used. I don't
Well,
think.
for Bitcoin to continue, they would need to make bit pennies, right? Or bit.
Right.
And-
Here's the thing: you say that, but the guy who first bought a pizza with Bitcoin is lamenting buying that pizza because when it went up to like $20,000, he's like, I should have never bought that pizza.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Yeah.
When will he ever buy anything with it? He won't, because he's always going to think it's worth more than. You see, we need a currency that's stable and that we can depend on. And
Well, then you need
that's
control.
called the dollar. That's called the dollar. You know,
Well,
the
for
reason
now.
we took out Saddam Hussein was because he was going to start accepting rubles or whatever for oil, right? It wasn't because he had weapons of mass destruction. It's because he was going to change the face of currency in the Middle East. That's why he was taken out. It didn't have anything to do with the weapons of mass destruction. So we can't have a currency that threatens the dollar. And if you look at the news lately, you'll see that now the Democrats are in power. They're talking about more regulations on Bitcoin. Just look it up.
So right now, my most profitable penny stock has increased in percentage of value by 642%.
Which one is that?
It is a zinc corporation, Soltario Zinc Corporation.
Are you a Robinhood user?
No, I use Fidelity.
Oh, so you can't do fractional shares though.
No,
No, I use M1 Finance.
The American dollar hasn't been worth anything for decades.
Now, see, this is where you and I are going to disagree on this, Kingpin.
You can disagree, but that would make you wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm the guy who goes who.
You are wrong.
You are wrong because the U.S. dollar has ceased to be worth something once it wasn't.
This is internet lore.
I'm talking about just the idea of why our dollar is what controls the world. It's not because the dollar itself has value, because it does not. It's a faith-based system.
Any currency is a faith-based system. That's the entire point.
It wasn't when there was a gold standard.
Well,
U.S. dollar is the number one most traded currency in the world.
Exactly.
The reason is documented
you're living in the past.
because
if you're still lamenting the gold standard, that's just there's
The
no
reason
gold to go around.
that our dollar is worth anything all across the world is because we've got troops all over the world. Basically, all this talk about foreign interference and meddling that's what makes the world go round.
Then why is the euro the second most?
If Europe disappeared off the map, how big of a difference do you think that would make in the grand scheme of things?
Well, you have to understand that what makes a currency more tradable is its stability. And so the stability of the dollar is what makes it so popular.
American troops with missiles in your land.
Come on, man. Let's be honest for a minute. It's been the standard for trade before we started policing everybody's countries.
But that's what continues it up is the whole American what people complain about America being in everybody's elections and everybody's this and everybody. That's what makes the world go round right now. So that's what makes our dollar valuable. Is because if you, like Tony said, if you don't want our dollar, we'll bomb your country into oblivion.
So I offer you the top five: the U.S. dollar, the euro, the Japanese yen, the British pound, the Canadian dollar, or six. This is the top six is what's listed, and the Swiss franc. So all of those are traded within a couple of million an hour of each other. So not all of those countries have that exact same characteristic, and only 4 of the 6 would be considered to be, ourselves included, 4 in unison, right? Now, while the Swiss are definitely trade interests to us, their value is the fact that they're a stable, neutral currency, right? Canadians are definitely our allies, but again, there are allies on here that are much better allies that are not listed because their currency is unstable. Same thing with the British. The Japanese are an ally of ours, but they don't lend much military prowess anywhere outside of their homeland. And so, again, the stability of their economy makes them number 3 on the list.
The main thing is that most people either don't care to even learn about why the dollar is the dollar and what its value is. Right? It's all psychology. Right? When I go to the store, I know the dollar can get me a certain number of things. And that doesn't change that much over time. Right? It just doesn't. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about how, $100 was 15 years ago is worth $1,000 now, but nobody understands that. It's not relative. It's like, you know what I mean? They don't understand the difference. They just know what they can do with the dollar now. And they know that tomorrow, the day after tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that, they're going to be able to buy a certain number of things with that dollar. It's just psychology. That's all it is. And in the end, that's all that matters. It's like you were saying, Kingpin. It's what kind of faith we have in it, right? There's no way with the volatility of Bitcoin you're ever going to convince people that an electronic currency that way, not in our lifetime, is stable enough to be something that's dependable. It's only going to be this sort of weird Reddit board kind of, troll sniping kind of, I want to make a few dollars today and then tomorrow I might not, kind of exciting kind of currency. It's like entertainment. It's not a real currency to me.
Can I suggest an idea though?
What?
That kind of marries both of you. So, during
Kingpin
history,
and I are secretly married. Nobody just will never know.
Marry your ideas. Marry your ideas. So, during several points in history, there has been both a stable dollar and another form of currency that was in regular trade. As a matter of fact, significantly regular trade, particularly in the country that had the strongest dollar. We know certain forms of libation by this name almost exclusively. To this day, a container that is a shot glass of liquor is still referred to taking a shot. And it was generally the cost of one bullet. And so there was a stable enough cost to one bullet that people actually relied on that as a form of payment. And so I wonder, as we approach our world of ammunition shortage, if there might become a day when you might actually have a shot again.
Did I make Kingpin mad that he left?
That was right.
Huh?
He said he put something in the internal chat. I think he said he had to run.
Oh, who? Oh, I thought you left Kingpin. It was Nighthawk.
No, I'm still here.
No, I mean, Night Strike.
Night Strike, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
well. So to Kingpin's most eloquent point, the military prowess or the value of military, right? And to your point, the strength of the U.S. manufacturing and stability. Maybe there is a time in history where we will see something like a shot exist with equal trading value.
I think it's almost inevitable because America plays. Excuse me, sorry, I missed the cough button. America plays a really dangerous game of debt. I put it this way: if China's government completely collapsed right now, the world would be in turmoil for about 10 years. It'd be rough. We'd have to figure things out, destabilization, all this other kind of stuff, assuming that there's not going to be a world war over the territory. That aside, if America stopped existing today, the entire world would go into a third world for probably 100 years.
Yeah.
Because who's China going to sell all their crap to? Well, they sell it to us. We give them debt, and they give us a bunch of plastic stuff at Walmart. Russia's not buying all that stuff. Iran's not buying all that crap. Britain's too small. There's not enough people in Europe. So the fact that we own all this debt is another reason, along with our military and along with other different things, the house of cards that the world's economy is built on. Everybody knows that it's about to fall apart, and everybody's doing their best to hold it up. Because if it collapses, obviously we're all screwed. But as long as it's still, a couple people adding toothpicks to each side, then we're still going to keep doing the same old thing. I don't know if that made a whole bunch of sense. It was kind of frank.
I would hesitate to say we're all screwed. So I have family that lives through the stock market crash, and none of them recall it as being the end of the world. They, of course, heard it in the news, right? And they read about it when there was a paper that came through, but ultimately for them, what they saw was there was more demand for their goods because my ancestors were farmers. They grew their own food, they had their own cows, they had their own pigs. And so really the simpler you're able to live your life, it's not really the end of the world. The United States collapsing makes poor countries poorer, but it doesn't destroy them. They don't suddenly become incapable of milking a cow or raising a pig or working the land unless they exist somewhere they cannot exist without modern technology propping them up, you know?
You know what's funny? You mentioned that about people who lived through the Great Depression didn't think of it as such. And I have my own experience that's not as bad as the Great Depression. But when I first started in construction, I supposedly started in one of the worst housing crises between '78 and '80, right? And then
Whoa.
and then again, I graduated from my building trade school in 1980, right? I had no clue. I was working hard. I'm building houses. Nothing, no big deal, right?
Right.
Then comes 2007, 2008. Again, we're building one of the biggest houses we've ever built. We go through the whole thing. Didn't even know that there was a crisis, right? I was reading it in the news, but I was thinking the whole time, what's this all about? When is this going to hit? When is this going to affect local markets, right? So there is something to be said for, I guess you would call it relativity, but
I can agree with that. But I would say if just putting it, not trying to be Debbie Downer, but putting it in 2021 perspective, the masses are going to starve to death because they don't have that skill set of being a farmer or having experienced any of that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a big problem. Plus the fact that if the United States collapsed, not just had a recession or a depression, you know, you got a nuclear-powered communist China and nuclear-powered communist Russia and radical Islam out of Iran that are going to run rampant across the planet.
They were running rampant across the planet before we did anything about them.
Not with nuclear weapons and jets and ICBMs and internet technology and all that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but the game has changed.
So, what was the most dangerous thing on the planet up until 1922?
Polio.
No, I'm talking about military.
Silent films.
Until 1922, I would
Till
imagine.
1922.
Long distance bombers, maybe.
No, a British soldier with a Lee-Enfield rifle. The entire world was ruled practically by the British Empire because of that thing. A British soldier with a Lee-Enfield rifle was the most dangerous thing on this planet for almost 100 years, either a Lee-Enfield or some other model.
And there was a man holding that gun.
That's exactly right.
A man at 6 years old.
Yep.
Not today, where men are 36 years old.
So we're gonna play. We're gonna play this.
That was good,
number out.
I have to hand you that.
Yeah, that was good. We're going to play this number out for a minute. So I agree that in the short term, a holocaust of nuclear weapons would be an extraordinarily bad thing for a population of people. But I can tell you right now that if you start dissolving first world countries, left, right, and sideways, that technology will go away so fast you won't believe it. And a lot of it will go away before anybody even has a chance to fire it. Because the guys pushing the buttons won't come to work anymore.
You have to wonder, though, how long China can sustain creating their new military hardware, right?
Not long. They'll go the way of Russia if they continue.
You would hope they would go the way of, the Soviet Union.
That's why I think that pardon me for... This is going to make me feel sick to say this, but I got to say it this way. The wisdom of the Chinese communists.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to drop bombs. Just like I always say,
No.
Nancy Pelosi's not going to... If we have a riot, Nancy Pelosi's not going to blow New York City up because she doesn't want to rebuild it. That's expensive and a waste. She'd rather deal with the riot, so the property's still there. So the Chinese are going to move in and manipulate a bunch of people, and basically, hey, shame that you're starving to death now, but we got this little bit of rice over here. That kind of minute. I don't think that they would go through and just start bombing countries.
No. Well, so there's an old saying that every country will take one nuke, right? And every civilized country will take one nuke.
They don't.
Right?
They don't need to bomb. It's like they just need enough military hardware to manipulate countries. Or people like in Taiwan. Just to after Biden takes office, they fly jets over. That military strength is all they need to manipulate them. Maybe
100,000 Chinese soldiers show up on the border of any country, and people are going to be concerned.
I really honestly believe that the next wars are probably going to be more electronic than anything else. At this point, if you look at how economies work and how information works, you could basically almost entirely, till the very end, fight an entire war without putting a single soldier's life in harm's way.
Well, you just need to engineer a virus that will shut down economies. That's all.
Theoretically, if we played with our gloves off, like if the American military, and I'm just going to say the American military because I'm sure other militaries could do that to other enemies, but if we wanted to invade any country on planet Earth, no nuclear weapons included, those are excluded completely. We could invade any country on the planet in 2 weeks top, with missiles, drones, and airline pilots, what are they called, jet fighter guys, and not have to put one single boot on the ground. But then again, why would you completely devastate China and then have to rebuild it all and deal with all the dead bodies and all the fallout from radiation and all that kind of crap from the bomb?
You wouldn't, and that's why China's buying. That's why China's doing what they're doing, infiltrating through politics and capitalistic methods of buying property and manipulating politicians through honeypots. Why even fire a shot when you have a million honeypots that can come over and manipulate politicians into doing what you wanted them to do in the first place?
Yeah.
Right.
I know. I would have pretended like I knew something.
I know. Why can't I be part of that scene, right?
I thought he was pretty cute, man, just to be honest.
Who?
Fang Fang.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah, I totally know stuff. Put it on my face and let my lips
know as much as Swalwell.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about. Swalwell. What's his name?
Just in, the Robinhood app has begun selling automatically shares of GameStop for some customers for their own good.
I want my half a penny back from AMC. Actually, I want my $150 back. And then I noticed that there was a couple of users suing Robinhood already for shutting down. Did you see that news?
Yep. Well, why not? Why not?
Well, are y'all spent like me?
Yeah, it's old man pee and go to bed time.
I got to work on Duncan's project too. I've been sitting here talking about politics and stuff. I noticed he was in the chat. I'm helping him with a little cabin out in Texas. He's a Brit. He's a Brit from the Euro country. Moved to our great country, to Texas. Taking advantage of the good life.
Good to have you, sir. Welcome.
Glad he's here. Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all humoring me, and thanks for joining, Kingpin. I kind of miss hearing your point of view, to be honest with you.
Man, I thought this was a fantastic conversation. I really, really enjoyed myself, and hats off to both of you guys.
And not Hawk Medic. You got both of you guys are really. You always want to invite people who are smarter than you to your hangouts, and that's what I do. Kingpin, not Hawk Medic, not Strike. So the collective IQs have to be exponentially higher than mine.
I think I was going to say, you invited me, dude. Are you trying to lower it? But
No, you guys, I love your all's points of view, and the objectivity just flows, and I love that. That's the main thing, is that if we had people that could do this kind of debate in our government without trying to shoot each other at the same time, that would be great. But that's a dream I only can dream of.
well, yeah, maybe one day. Who knows?
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Brother, thanks for having
Thank
us.
you, guys.
Yeah.
I'll see you.